afternoon, morning, whatever it is to all of you. Thank you for being here. We will go ahead and get started with our meeting. And does anybody want to share our mission statement?
To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Thank you, ma'am. And just a reminder, take a picture of it. Don't call anyone you're not supposed to. We have to have it at every meeting. Moving on. We would now like to kick us off. Chris, come on.
Thank you. Want to go around that wire?
Oh, yeah.
Split this up here. One of those. Some of these. There we go. All right, cool. Quick, just market update for everyone. The Fed is meeting today. No changes coming. Probably no changes coming at the next meeting in May either. They're really kind of cooling down any kind of, or well, I guess they're not expected to drop rates all that significantly this year. Fannie Mae just changed their rate expectations, so they expect rates to get down to 6.4% by the end of the year, down to 6% by the end of 2025. So that's a lot slower of a decrease in rates than what we thought at the beginning of the year. That's because the inflation rate isn't getting down as low as they expected, as quickly as they expected. Employment's staying relatively strong, so they're probably not going to be making any kind of crazy big moves. Now that I said that, though, you know, something's going to happen and that'll all be void. So wanted to talk about a little bit the NAR stuff. I'm sure you're hearing 1,000 things. You probably have a bunch of questions. I've got a ton of calls asking about, well, what are lenders going to do to try and, you know, mitigate or assist with this situation? So just so you know, right now, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, all the big federal banks that set up all the regulations and guidelines, they haven't even commented on this yet. They are probably, these are very big organizations. They're probably going to wait and see before they make any changes, especially changes that'll have lasting effect on the way that we all do business. What I would say is, you know, for now, we're probably going to need to prepare for the situation of, well, what if the seller is going to still cover the buyer side commissions, even if the buyer is negotiating with their buyer's agent, you know, on what those numbers are going to be. So I passed around current seller concession sheets that breaks down exactly how much the seller is allowed to contribute towards the transaction. That is currently to cover closing costs, prepaids, and points. We expect the language will probably say closing costs, prepaids, points, and buyer's agent commission. Can those change? Certainly. We don't know what that'll look like. I mean, could they bump all of those up 3% and now the seller can cover everything and the closing costs, you know, commission and everything? Sure, but I don't know exactly where, you know, what changes they will make. I would love to do like a panel forum talk, Zoom in person, where we get everyone together and maybe I can do a little, hey, here's a lender's view on all these changes and you know, anybody wants to come, maybe I'll set that up. So
Chris, can you be on the Zoom tomorrow at 9:30? We've got a plug for it at the end. It
Sure.
would be great to have your voice on there.
For sure. Any questions or anything? Thank you.
Thank you. The snow has everyone excited today. And next up, we have Miss Andrea Hyde, Chairwoman of Title Solutions.
How's everybody doing? Good. It was so fun to see everybody all dressed up and spiffy.
You could limbo under it.
Maybe once upon a time.
Not today, not you.
So just a couple of things. I wanted to give you guys an update for March. So far, we've closed 17 for March. So as you know, when we hit that 30 mark, we can donate another bed for Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which is super exciting. And then I wanted to let you guys know, I think we talked about this before, but on our website under resources, there is a tab. You can go to POS and it will give you all of the POS requirements. And if there's a link to go to the website, it will be hyperlinked in there. You can click on it if there's a form to fill out for POS. So I know that up in Cuyahoga County, POSs are, everywhere. Every municipality I feel like has something different. So if you're looking for a good resource for that POS information, go to our website. So just www.americantitlesolutions.com. Up at the top, click on resources and then POS, and it'll give you a breakdown. And really that works multi-county too. So if you're working in Summit County or Portage County or Stark County, maybe somewhere new that you're not familiar with and you just want to make sure, hey, is there anything else that I need to know? You can click in there to find. So just wanted to give you guys some info there. So that's all.
Andrea. All right, up next, my favorite section of the meeting, our core values. As a reminder, they are grit, build a positive team and family spirit, be transparent, 360 team player, create fun and a little weirdness. And I have to tell you guys, we got so many nominations this week. Or this month. So I think it's really important to read them all. And if you're in the room and you have anybody that you do want to give a special shout out to, please do. Tara's going to have one. Perfect. So first, our first nomination was for Janice Borders, nominated by Rick Tannenbaum. He said he wanted to nominate Janice for 360 team player. While away at family reunion, I had a closing. This buyer was one of the most challenging buyers I've worked with in my 17 years of real estate. Of course, I could not be there to attend the final walkthrough. Janice went above and beyond by taking them to their final walkthrough. An hour and a half or maybe longer later, they had flushed every toilet, ran every sink, and opened every cupboard, drawer, and cabinet. They were not satisfied with the walkthrough, and we did not sign off on the walkthrough. 2 days later, Janice went back for a second walkthrough to make sure the house was now in satisfactory condition to close. It was still not. But with Janice's help, we were able to help the buyer feel more comfortable closing this time. Not only that, but after closing, the buyer had plans to meet contractors at the house, but of course, there were no chairs in the house. So Janice was kind enough to let the buyer borrow a folding chair for the day. God love her. I am so appreciative of Janice for helping me and helping my buyer get to the closing table. This was not an easy one, but it is so nice to know that we have a professional like Janice on our team when needed. Okay, nice.
That's great.
I will also add, a few people said Janice, she was just filling in all the gaps when we were at family reunion. We had we were live streaming family reunion and it wasn't working. And if it weren't for Janice being a part of James Shaw and figuring out how to stream James Shaw version of family reunion, we wouldn't have had it. So I also wanted to give a little special shout out to her for that. We have Miss Melanie Leone nominated by David Presserin, David Presserin nominated by Melanie. David builds a positive team and family spirit through his infectious positive attitude and constant willingness to help whenever I have questions, which is often. He makes everyone feel included, and he has always been very kind and helpful to me. He has always been transparent with me, even when I didn't necessarily want to hear his answer. David is always helpful in a way that is not condescending or patronizing, but genuine, thoughtful, and helpful. He is now my go-to, and he will always be there for guidance. Nomination for Mary Jo Kormashoff, nominated by Mike Roberts. He nominates Mary Jo for grit. I've known Mary Jo for over 15 years, and she's always been tenacious in everything she does. She's always been a real estate role model for me, and this past year, I had the pleasure of partnering with her, joining her team weeks or maybe even a day before she had her fourth child. It was impressive to see how well she handled her team and personal business while having a new baby and managing other children and responsibilities. She's fiercely competitive and steadfast in her goals. As a team, she experienced a lot of change with hiring new admin staff, losing agents, adding agents, switching brokerages, etc. And she's handled every challenge in stride and stayed determined to emerge even stronger. Mary Jo is a boss, and even though she's happy to fly under the radar, which she does, She deserves all the accolades one can receive in our industry, and I couldn't agree more. So, round of applause to Miss Mary Jo. We have Stacy Jones, nominated by Laura Murata, build a positive team and family spirit. Stacy is so generous, follows through, very active in leadership in the Market Center, and is super successful with strong family values. Could not agree more. And he's here, Anthony, nominated by Amanda Pullman. Anthony Collier for grit and teamwork. Not only has he embarked on serious learning and commitments to show up, but he does so even though he has 2 other jobs, both as a Marine reservist and also a full-time job. And yet he has become one of our strongest open house agents who raises his hand and put his first deal under contract with the first couple of months in joining our team. We love being in business with him because he is hungry, humble, and smart. Those are 3 amazing qualities to have, Anthony. And knows that there's massive amount to learn and does so systematically and in a way that he also learns by doing. He's never afraid to ask for help and leaves his ego at the door while he continues to absorb all that our team offers him to set him up for massive success. And Mo Ladarsic, nominated by Mary Vetta. She nominates Mo for grit with handling bank-owned properties. She has to have all these core values. She does. I don't know if you all know, Mo essentially handles all of the HUD deals here at the Market Center, and she does so in stride. She's amazing. So give her a huge and Andrea Papko, nominated by Melinda Chamberlain. Is she in here? I'll say it loud so she hears. Andrea has been, yeah, she's working. Andrea has been with Keller Williams for approximately 10 years, and she epitomizes the spirit of Keller Williams. #1 trunk or treat this past October, might she add. Andrea, we're talking about you. You were not. I'm glad by Melinda. I'm glad I talked loud. Andrea is a true team player, always ready to step up and take on whatever projects, events, or tasks come up to move us forward. Andrea takes initiative, is very creative, and willing to go the extra mile. I'm grateful for all her help in my absence this past year. Give Andrea a round of applause. And then we have Miss Lynn Scott, nominated by Christina Dugas. Grit and 360 team player. Lynn is very knowledgeable in helping us with technology. She's very good about returning calls, emails, or texts. She is always there to offer solution, and she doesn't know. If she doesn't know, she's determined to find the answer. The best part about Lynn is that she always does this with a smile and a good attitude. Give Lynn a round of applause. Okay, Tara, I know you had another one.
I'm gonna try to keep it short. So, ALC, everybody knows what the ALC is, right? Yeah, it's our leadership. I want to say that I feel really blessed. I feel really blessed to have found a place that has such supportive leadership. I don't think that maybe agents know really what goes on behind the scenes, but in this brokerage, our ALC has people that truly care. Like their heart is so in the right place. Their intention is like 100% pure. And everything that happens behind the scenes, they work so hard and they give so much of their time and their own resources to make an experience better for the agents here. And you'll never know. You'll never know. It's all about like we do for our clients. It's all behind the scenes and you never know all of the stuff that goes on. So I just wanted to say one word that kind of that I feel when I look at these different leadership people on ALC, that kind of like exemplifies to me like what I think of when I think of them. So I'll keep it quick. Okay, so Cindy, the entrepreneur, Leah, the ultimate networker, David, the miracle, Diana, the beast mode, Denise, the nurturer, Stacy, the CEO, Michaeline, the matriarch, Krisha, the boss lady, Crystal, the rock, Irene, the wise, Ricky, the kind, and the guy who keeps us organized. And Jill, the breath of life and fun. So now, if you have a situation where you need some assistance and you need to like have somebody kind of give you some advice or talk something through, those words, that's just what I feel, and they have many, many more attributes and characteristics that are amazing. But if you're having an issue with like networking, you call Leah Jones, she'll tell you how to get it done. So, you know, just think of those things, and if you ever need to reach out, they're there for you. And honestly, again, like I've never seen a team of leaders that actually cares the way that they do, and it's pretty freaking amazing.
It sure is. That, I could not agree more in this ALC. It is incredible what they do behind the scenes, and they are making this market center a better place every single day. Thank you all. Michaeline.
And Tara, all of the above.
Yes.
All of the above. She really.
She
We have to make sure.
Oh my God.
I got it.
Anyone else want to share any core values? Shout out, thank you to anyone before we announce our agent spotlight this month. Okay, drum roll, please. Denise Porter. Today in many ways this past month. Awesome. All right, we've got to celebrate some new agents here. Give a warm welcome to Miss Casey Burns, Dianara Sullivan, Katie Mattio, Haley Ladarsic, Nicole Emery, and Mo Grubaugh. Oh my gosh, and Alex, sorry, we left Alex off too. He is new, wonderful, and referred by Andre Godes. And then we've got some cappers to congratulate. Miss Felice Cologne, Dan Gore, and Rick Tannenbaum. Oh, 2 pages. Christina and the Dugas. Give them a round of applause. Okay, top producers. We have Mary Jo Richatelli Clark, who was also our Rookie of the Year. Christina and Ron Dugas, Rachel Simon, Sandy Braun, Michael and Stacy Jones, Diana and Mike Magno, Danielle McCandless, Dana Roseman, Angela Carrero, Mary Jo Kormashoff, Mike Roberts, Carly Sablotny, Ryan Shirley, Brent Smith, Dan Gore, Tara Samoji, Dennis and Kathleen Bergansky, Scott Stewart, Felice Cologne, Anastasia Strogatsky, Rick Tannenbaum, Journey Tool, David and Donna Toth, CJ Trevisano, Keisha Wagner, and Mo Ladarsic. Give them a round of applause. And now we get to welcome, so David Jones, are you on?
I am on.
Woo! And we can even hear from the TV. This is great.
Awesome. You can hear me well?
Progress for us, David.
Exactly. Technology, we love it, and sometimes not so much.
That's right.
Today's a good day.
Today is a good day. So we're getting your, can we get David's face up here so we can not just hear?
Oh, no.
We have to pin.
Yep.
We have to pin it. Just pin it. Don't spotlight it if you don't mind.
There he is. And pin.
All right.
Perfect. All right. Hey, Dave.
Well, hey, HL, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. So, guys, can y'all hear me? Y'all give me a big hoo-ah if you can hear me. There you go. That was okay. That was a good hoo-ah. So when you weren't ready. So whoever's doing the camera, turn a little bit over so I can see the crowd a little bit. Well, guys, my name is David Jones. I'm a bowl coach, a MAPS coach. Been with Keller Williams for 21 years, been in MAPS coaching for 10 of those years. And I'm excited to come in, but I'm excited to bring Bold in to the Northeast Ohio area, Cleveland area. And first date I want everybody to write down, you may have known it, is we have Bold First Step to Bold coming on April the 3rd. Somebody write that day down. That day is free. It's the free First Step to Bold. No reason not to be there at the First Step to Bold. I'm going to go into some things for your business just so you know right away, but I want to get a couple of things out of the way because you're saying, okay, this guy's coming in. Who is he on the screen? et cetera. So I know I have people in the room that have done bold. Some have done bold, some haven't. And I'm gonna see if I can see your screen a little better. There we go. I can see you better now. But no matter what, right? Wednesday, April the 3rd from 9 to 2:30 down. Address and all that you can get later. Now, what I want to talk to you about is I want to just kind of have a little bit of a checkup from the neck up and talk about where we're at right now in our business. And we all kind of went into 2024 with goals. And I want to give you a little bit of a process here of getting, who likes the idea of being ahead of your goals opposed to always, has anybody in here ever chased their goals? Like you get a little behind and you feel like you're chasing your goal? Who's ever felt like that? Okay, nobody's there. Okay, I got 3 people that are honest. Oh, there we go. More hands going up. Good. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not fun, to chase your goals. I know we're all doing it because we love to help people. And the market is very interesting right now. You cannot run a real estate business in receivership right now. You can't sit around and wait passively for leads just to show up in your lap. Would y'all agree with that? Yes or no? Would y'all agree?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to get, right now we're coming into the end of the quarter, and here's, if you want to follow along and do this on paper, you can. Jill, what I got, about 10 minutes, you think? Is that enough time? Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know if you had more time planned or whatever. So essentially, everybody look at this. Write down your goal for 2024, whatever you walked into 2024. And I want you to do this like a coaching exercise. I can see you, and I can see you have tables. So I want everybody to write down what your goal was for 2024. Do me a favor, write it right now. Just play along with this. I coach agents one-on-one, mega agents for a living as well. So I'm not doing anything with you. I'm actually doing, this is what I was doing with all my clients this last week, is walking them through where we're at right now in our year. Now, if I write down your goals for the whole year, very simple. So let's just use a number of 40 transactions. Some of y'all are higher. Some of y'all saying I'm a new agent, I'm lower, whatever it is. I'm going to use 40 because it's easy math. So basically, somebody yell out the number. How many closings should I be at by the end of March to be on track for my goal for 40 transactions? Who wants to tell me the math?
10.
And there you go. Good. Some of y'all saying it's a trick question. I picked easy numbers so we can all do easy math. I didn't get in real estate because I'm good at math, right? So you should be at 10 transactions. So take your goal for 2024 and divide it by 4. Okay? Divided by 4. That's essentially where you should be at right now at the end of March for closings. Would everybody agree with that? Say yes if you agree.
Yes.
All right. Now who in here is going to be honest, right? But are you on track? So raise your hand. It's okay, by the way, first quarter, raise your hand if you're a little bit behind on your goal for 2024 in the first quarter. Raise your hand if you're a little bit behind. Okay. So I saw something like this. All right, raise your hand if you're ahead of your goal. All right, there you go. Back there in the back, she's somebody you may want to mastermind with. Okay. Anybody, only thing I haven't mentioned, anybody on track for their goal? Okay.
No hand.
Okay, so usually that's one of the two. Majority of the people, though, right now are behind on track for their goal. Now, somebody be honest with me. When you're behind on your goal, especially in the northern areas of the country, I'm being honest because I coach people all over the country. And your brain right now, if you're behind on your goal, would anybody be honest and admit to me what your brain self-talk is? You're behind your goal in the first quarter of the year. What is our brain? What story do we start telling ourselves right now?
That it's only spring and it's just getting into the busy season. I'm gonna double up on quarter 2.
Was that Jill or was that an agent?
That was an agent. That's the one who's ahead of her goal.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. Man, she's really loud in the back over there. That's right. Don't worry. I get that too all the time. I'm loud. Exactly right. Our brain starts telling us it's only the spring. It's springtime. Winter's gone. Good days are coming. And the one thing we do a lot of times in real estate is we always are telling a story how we're going to get caught up. Now, what I want to talk to you about this right now is at the uncertainty of the market today, is that I believe everybody in this room, whether you join Bold or not, your market center only has 15 spots. So not all you can do Bold anyways. Not even everybody in this room could do Bold because you only have 15 for your market center. Because this is a smaller, more intimate Bold with just around 100 people doing it, multiple market centers participating. So no matter if you're taking Bold or not, are y'all with me right now? This next quarter is going to be the one most important quarter of your entire year. This next quarter, you've got to go in and the market, would everybody agree, the market right now from a mathematical and historical perspective, the market right now starts speeding up starting in the spring, April, May, June, seem to be those months where we say we're going to have more business. Would y'all agree that we all kind of think that way? This is the time that business starts speeding up. Would y'all agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means, and I'm coaching you like you're not even, I'm just telling you right now, this next quarter, if you stand on the sidelines and you've been doing what you've always done, and you don't have pure clarity around what you want to accomplish in this next quarter, everybody on here, everybody listen carefully on this. You need to hit 50% of your goal in the next quarter. Now, 50% of that goal is not 10. You need to have half of your business being done in the next quarter to set you up for the rest of the year. So if your goal was 40 for 2024, listen carefully on this. You need to do 20 transactions in process in the next quarter to be on track. And what that does is that insulates you from anything. Because one thing we know about real estate right now, there's a lot of noise in the real estate industry right now. Would y'all agree with that? Yes or no? Is there a lot of noise? Yes or no?
In the next.
Tons of noise. And you know what? You know how you stay out of the noise? By you putting your head down, going into full immersion and say, I'm going to go gain 50% of my goal in the next quarter. And I'm going to ignore the noise. Everybody got that?
Yep.
You got to ask yourself, I want everybody to write down one goal right now. And right now, we're at May 20th. First quarter's done. I want everybody to write down one number, one goal. What's one goal if you were to accomplish by the end of June, that I was going to accomplish this one goal would make at my guarantee that I not only hit my goal this year, I exceed it, and the rest of the year, I do it in less time. What's one number if you were to hit by the end of the first half of the year, the next quarter, would completely change your life, your business, stress, get more done going to full immersion? What's that one goal that would change your world? Now, I'm going to give you some subjects. I'm going to suggest some things. Listings taken. Contracts written. It could be, man, if I can get 30 A buyers or sellers in my pipeline. What's that one goal? Anybody want to throw it out in the universe? Somebody throw it out for me. Like, just put it in the universe for me. What is it? This is the interactive portion of the show. Somebody step this. Now, this is scary because you're going to throw it out in the world. When you put it out there, it becomes real. Who wants to throw out that goal of what you need to hit in the next quarter?
I have 27 that I need to hit in the next quarter.
And because it's in the next quarter, okay. Well, I want to hit 40 by the next quarter.
We got somebody said 27 and somebody said 40.
Now, by the way, I don't know who you are, and obviously I'm not going to hold you accountable. I got secret cameras everywhere. I'm going to call you. Just kidding. Here's the thing. Because you took it from your head, maybe you wrote it and you said it. You made it real. Everybody got that? You made it real. You put it out there. Some people call it manifestation. There's all kinds of things you can put out there. What I'm going to say right now is this Bold. We only have 15 spots. Is an opportunity for you to go into full immersion to pick a goal. We're gonna identify goals in Bold. Those of y'all that take it. We're going to identify them and count them every week. We're going to teamwork together to work together to make sure we're staying on track for that goal. We're going to put in the habits and the skills and the activities and the mindset. Okay. Mindset. I saw a good thing the other day They said, we don't need to have, well, who in here agrees we need to have a great mindset is really important right now? Raise your hand if you think mindset is really important right now. Yeah, everybody agrees. I saw a great one. It said it had an M for mindset to the third power. In other words, we got to have a mindset 3 times as resilient as before. So those are the things we're going to be doing in here. Now, last thing I'm going to cover with you, then I'm going to let you have it back. And I trust you got a little bit. Anybody got right now? Any ahas just now from this conversation of quarter to quarter operating this way? Any thoughts? Give me some feedback on what your thoughts on this concept. What are your takeaways on that?
David, one thing that I thought of was by doubling down and doing half of your goal all within quarter 2, say it's the goal's 20, and so you're gonna do 20, or the goal's 40 and you're doing 20 in quarter 2, what relief that gives you for the rest of the year too.
Yeah.
Like it takes, we all get stressed, and not to mention, you know, there's so much commotion and noise around our industry right now. And if we can relieve ourselves of some of that stress, like I just look at the second half of the year with a lot more freedom and ease.
Yeah, the stress it lowers, the ability for us to do more business. The rest of the year becomes so much less stressful in every aspect. Your holidays are better, all those things. So so last thing is on here is talking about our business in here is I had an agent that was taking Bold that I also happened to coach, and her name is Michelle. And I'm looking up her message right now as we're kind of talking in here. And Michelle and I were coaching, and we were talking about implementing some things in and it came down to this and this is one thing in here. Should we be calling our data? Should we call our database? What do y'all think? Should we call our database? Yes or no?
Yes.
So we're going to be following a system in Bold called the DTD2 system. Okay. And the DTD2 system is you call 2 letters of the alphabet every week. I follow the DTD2 system religiously. It's part of what we do on everything I do, including Bold, everything. And we're going to talk about DTD2 in Bold. Now, she wasn't calling her database because she was having some biases. Has anybody in here ever not called their database for some reason, like thought you were bothering them or something like that? Who in here has ever not called your database? Anybody? Who in here has ever not called your database? So Michelle and I were talking, and I told her, and this was one of those conversations on the side of the room. And so how many letters came up this week for your letters of the alphabet for the DTD2? She said 55. And I said, why are you not calling them? We got honest with her. And it comes out she wasn't calling her database because one, she's the one she knew, she felt like she was bothering them. They already knew she was in real estate. Number 2, some of them she hasn't talked to in a long time. And then number 3, some of them she actually didn't know how she knew them. Now, those are called biases. She was having call bias. A bias is you don't call somebody for a reason. Now, I asked her, I said, would you trust me and go on faith and call all 55 people today with no attachment to the outcome? This is 2:30 in the afternoon when Bold ended that day. So would you call them all with no attachment to the outcome? I said, would you text me when you're done calling them? So she texted me about 3 hours later. And she goes, I made all of my DTD2 calls. It took a little while because she probably vacillated on some of the calls, but she made a commitment she was going to call them. It's called accountability. Do y'all believe accountability works? What do y'all think? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So she made all the calls. She said, I got more people answer than I thought. She said, I got one new buyer that is out right now being pre-qualified to buy a home that I would not have gotten if I didn't make the calls. And I also got another person that I found out is selling their home in 6 months that told me they would not have even thought of me if I didn't call them. They like me. I know them. I'm going over to the house this week to talk about getting the house ready to sell in the next 6 months. Now, I talked to her later on about it. I asked about those 2 leads. The buyer was a buyer that a year ago had bad credit. Somebody tell me, please interact. What's the bias right there? They had bad credit a year ago. She gets to her name, and people decide not to call that person. Why? Y'all know why? Why do we not call them?
They can't do anything immediately right now, so
Yeah.
they've lost.
So we skip the call. Turns out this lady fixed her credit by over 100 points in 12 months. And she needs to buy a home, and you would not have gotten it. The seller barely knew her. She got an appointment set up. So she has an average commission of $12,000. She had been skipped 3 weeks. So this is week 4 in bold doing the DTD2. So she didn't call her DTD2s for 3 weeks. On week 4, she came up, she got help. She showed up. She got some coaching. So she made $24,000 by making her calls that day. And I talked to her. She agreed she would not have had those calls. Now, who in here thinks it's really cool that she made, honestly, raise your hand if you think it's cool she made $24,000 by making her calls. Who thinks that was a great thing right there? Okay. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to think about, though. What about those other 3 weeks that she didn't make the calls? Is it fair to say that she lost 24? She lost around $50,000 by not making her calls. Everybody got that?
Yes.
See, what happens to us in real estate is the money you're losing, it's not somebody going into your bank account and stealing it out of your account. You're avoiding putting yourself in places to go make money because it's soft money. And because, it's an interesting concept in human, let me tell you the human experience right here. Why is it we're more willing to keep somebody from stealing $50,000 than we are to go work to make $50,000? If somebody went to your bank account today and you looked at your bank account and $50,000 was missing from your bank account, what would you do? What would you do?
Call the police, call the bank.
Yeah.
Can we all agree you do whatever it takes? You'd call the bank. You'd go to the bank. Would you agree you do whatever it takes? Would y'all agree?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go do that same kind of effort for the business that you're losing and the calls you're not making, and put that energy to that next quarter, because the money you're losing, you're not seeing. It's called soft money. And we're more willing to go work to keep somebody from stealing money than go make it. I want you to think about that differently. And those are the things we create. So I want to invite you, April the 3rd, First Step to Bold. I average 2 leads per student that comes to First Step to Bold. So if you want 2 leads that you didn't have before Bold, because of strategies I'm going to teach you, show up on April 3rd from free. Now, if you already know you're doing Bold and you want to fill one of those 15 spots, get registered, because I got a feeling it's going to be slowly. Suddenly, 2 weeks out from Bold, we're at 25% sold out right now. We saw the report this morning. Is that accurate, Jill?
Yep.
Saw the report this morning. We're 25% sold right now, and I'd love to have you in there. And Bold is a place, because left to your own means, we're going to do what we've always done. We're going to go to the path of least resistance. I'm going to encourage you to be a part of Bold. If you've never taken Bold before, maybe you go off faith, maybe you go ahead and pay. You've taken Bold before, your brain says, I know what I'm doing. I know how to be bold. You know what? I also know how to eat good. I always do better when I have a diet, when I have somebody coaching me. I also know how to exercise. I also do more when I have a personal trainer. So be careful in the self-talk you have, because you're going to talk yourself right out of losing $50,000 that you never knew you had in the first place. So guys, I hope you got something out of today. Any big takeaways from right now? Give me some takeaways. I want to hear.
I'll give one just about the last point that you made, which is, if somebody was talking about there's $20,000, however much missed out of my bank account, I would not be joking about it.
Yes, it all hits home with us, doesn't it? Like, I mean, just think about what you would do if all of a sudden you had $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 missing from your account. Put that kind of energy and focus into lead generation. But remember, say it again.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, mindset matters, because mindsets get you into action. So Jill, thanks for letting me be a part of your team meeting here today. Guys, I really look forward to meeting you. This is the kind of power and energy I'm going to get you thinking every single week differently. You're going to finish bowls a different person, and you're going to be on your way to way ahead of your goal by the end of the bowl. So guys, my name is David and I'm Bold. I'm very honored to be there, and I can't wait to see some of you guys in a couple weeks.
Thank you, David.
Hey, by the way, who did the yes you are?
What was that?
I heard somebody say yes you are.
Oh, I said it.
Okay. All right, thank you, Jill.
Thank you, David. And just to let you all know, your OP Jose Medina is signed up to take Bold. So if that's any motivation, and I know he's busy right now, if he can do it, we can do it. So hope you can join. All right, moving on, we have a quick, we are like getting on time today. We won't spend too much time, but I would love to invite Miss Cindy, Keisha, and Leah up to share a few takeaways from family reunion. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I did remove these backgrounds. Sorry, guys. It wasn't moved.
Canva has a mind of its own, I think.
Brian and I went through this yesterday and pictures were, it did look cuter, promise. Okay. So thanks for joining us today, ladies. And first question, I know there was so much information at Bold. There were great breakout at Bold. At family reunion, I'm looking at all the purple, but what could you share as one or two of your biggest takeaways from family reunion this year?
I know it's just really this cliche, and we hear this all the time, but I think it's better is to keep hearing it, is this mindset. Really this mindset, getting your mindset right, that you can do this, to have a positive attitude, and really just giving it your all, and that'll come through in your business when you come across your clients. It'll come through with everything you do. So mindset is really, really important. I know I was here personally. Sometimes my mindset isn't so great. I'll get into a little bit of a slump, like, okay, this is mundane, make the calls, send out the mailings, whatever you're doing. But really got to just change your mindset around it. That look, because I do these actions, because I do the things I need to do to lead generate, business will come. So just being positive in the mindset around it. And the energy, it was a lot of energy. It was a lot of energy. You could feel that with, what was it, 15,000 people?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of energy. So.
Leah?
Yeah, I'll go next. So, I'm gonna piggyback on Keisha. So I feel like family reunion, you hear a lot about it, like when you're new to Keller Williams, some people have been here a long time, some people are newer. For me, it was like only my second year here, and I was just like, first of all, Vegas made me wanna go. I'm gonna say that. So, I mean, I don't know if you all like Vegas, but that was just like a little bit of a time away, and I think sometimes you need it. As Asians, maybe you don't like Vegas, you don't like the lights and the big buildings and all of the hoopla, but that for me really sold me. But then I knew I would get something out of it too, right? But I was so pleasantly surprised with all the connections that I made, like some of the events that we went to, just collaborate with like other agents, getting to know them better, and just being around the top people, like the leaders. I think that's important. When you put yourself in certain rooms, it's like you're gonna get out of it. You're gonna get a lot out of it. And that was good for me. It was big to hear from some of the top speakers, well-renowned speakers, like Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins. And then just to piggyback on Keisha about mindset, Tony Robbins is like now one of my favorite people to listen to, because he'll keep your mindset right. If you're having a moment, just listen to Tony Robbins. Like he will get you back on track real quick. And I'm gonna just share this. He talked about patterns, and he talked about that sometimes we, most overachievers, which most of us are, tend to focus on what's missing. But he said that we need to focus on what we have and what we can control. Like sometimes we focus on all the things that we can't control, but it's really not about focusing on that. And then he also talked about, if we focus on the past, the present, or the future, you really have to focus on what's happening like right now, like what's going on. Like you can't really, yesterday you can't even change. And if something bad happened yesterday, you really can't go back. we only can, you know, do what we can do today. But, mindset was big for me, making, some amazing connections and referral partners was real big. So I would say those are my, top things from him. And the energy that was too was amazing, just being around the people. So if you can get there next year, I do recommend you guys to try to go. Great.
All right, so we talked about mindset, we talked about connections, and I'm gonna talk about the bigger picture. I love going to family reunion because to me, you get to see what you're a part of on a bigger scale. I love being able to hear stories, even like being at the brokerage for 2 years, it gave me stories of history of Keller Williams, stories from people like top, let's just say top producers, but I'm big on the connections as well. I love the relationships I get to build. We talk about networking, and to me, this is networking on steroids because it's really an opportunity to meet people all over the country. I have built amazing connections all over, and one of the things I love, because I'm a referrals is a major part of my business, and so being able to cultivate those connections is what one of the things that I took from it. Like somebody said, she cultivates her connections like we cultivate our clients. You know how you talk about calling your clients. And that's one of the things that I got this year is to really sew into my connections a lot more because you get these referral partners cards or information, but really actually tapping into that and growing the relationships so that it's not even like going into a group chat and saying who you have in Cleveland. It's instantly like this is Cindy, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I took away from it. Like I said, for me, it's a reset of sorts because being able to go build those relationships, get that information and kind of gear up. And I love that's why they do it in February because it's like coming off the holidays, give you a little bit of break. And then going into family reunion is to me, it gears you up for the year. You know, it gears you up for like I said, just a mindset reset as well as who am I connecting with throughout the year? What's my game plan? What's my strategy? But I love, like I said, you get the bigger picture of this company. Like, why are you with Keller Williams? You know what I'm saying? We love the connection we have with our personal brokerage, but the bigger picture of the company as a whole. And I feel like that to me solidifies us a little bit more in, in why we're here. You know,
So great. What would you say, each one of you, if you have one action item that you're taking from family reunion and implementing in your business now?
I can go
Yeah.
and then we go back down the line. So one of the things we have said, we get to go to different events. That's the one thing about family reunion. It can be challenging and exciting at the same time. You have all the family reunion stuff and you have all the extra stuff. Because everybody has an event, everybody is doing something after. But one of the things that we all three of us got to go to, and I got to see something I've never seen before. And it is collaboration over competition on a different level. It was not only touched my heart, but it just lets you see something. There was 4 gentlemen they met through KW. They all are in different states. Oh my God. These 4 gentlemen connected. They mastermind. They challenged each other. They grew each other's businesses to multi-million-dollar businesses. And it was just holding each other accountable and things like that. So for me, one of the things that I want to do is I really want to cultivate my connections because you just never know somebody's strategy that could work for you, something that they're doing that you haven't thought of. And those 4 gentlemen, like that was a game changer. They not only hold each other accountable in business, but in their marriages, and spiritually, emotionally healthy, physically, they really became brothers through this business. And that's crazy to me. Right. And it just shows the potential of what we have to do to impact each other's lives. So
That's huge.
building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I have to go back to mindset, like, that's key, like, cause you could be down one day and like on cloud 9 like the next, so you really can't, like, when you're down, you're not out. Like, you just really, I don't care what you're doing, it doesn't have to be just real estate, but like, you really just have to know that like, you can change your situation, like wherever you are right now, you can be somewhere else by the end of December, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if you're new, if you have help, you don't have help, like, none of that really matters. It's really like making a decision. And for me, coming back here with a renewed mind, I think, I try to keep a positive mind, but I think more than anything, I gained a new mindset, like a new mind shift by hearing, like, I feel like I got poured into, and I feel like it's important to be poured into by people who believe. And if you're not around people who believe, you need to change your environment, like, quickly, because it makes all the difference. So that's what I feel like is gonna be my big thing for this year.
Takeaways, oh my gosh, it's like, what we say it all the time, drinking water from a fire hose going there. So so many things you can take away, from the experience. This was probably my 5th or 6th time though. So sometimes when you've been a lot, it can be the same, but then you get something different every time. But this was the first time I have been since, gosh, before COVID or right before pre-COVID. And to see, I noticed a difference. There's a shift in how, I don't know how to describe it, but just a shift in how the programs put together, how, agents kind of interact with each other. I think people were more willing to want to share and want to interact. This is the first I've seen, not that they didn't want to so much before, but people were like seeking you out. Hey, where are you from? I see your name tag. You're from Ohio. I'm from California. You know, it was, that elementary, but that's what we have to do, to seek each other out. So, I can get, stuck in my own world sometimes. Okay, this region or this area or this brokerage, but going back on what Cindy just said, like really developing national and even international relationships is really, really huge. So, that's my takeaway. When I came home for family reunion, I don't know, some of y'all in the office might have heard me doing it, but everybody who I met or took a card from or did a blink thing, I'm new to the tech thing or whatever with it. I texted every last person. I probably took over 60 business cards, links and all of that. And I texted every last one of them. Like I said, I want to make sure that I've organized them in the group and in command. And I want to kind of go off with what Cindy just said, really start pouring into those relationships instead of just, I'll take a card, or, maybe I'll remember, maybe I won't. So,
And I just want to do a shameless plug. I'm big on KW communities. If you are not part of any of the KW communities, I really encourage you. Some are free, some cost. For me, I'm big on the communities, and when you are in the communities, you get to connect with those communities at family reunions.
You've got a little community you're creating.
I
We're gonna talk
do.
about it in April for sure. Yes, I couldn't agree more with you guys. And it's funny, I even personally, one of the last conventions I went to, my husband even joked like, why do you connect with these people? Like, yeah, right, you're gonna get a referral from them. And from this one group I met, actually I met him through Lauren Baker, who's an agent here. I'm not necessarily in production as much, but I've sent them 2 referrals to Maryland. Like, odd, I'm like, I will never know anyone in Maryland, and in 12 months, I've sent 2 of them referrals. So you never know. It is a very real thing. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here and sharing.
And I would say put a game plan together, like we do game plan for everything else, like a savings plan for it, because it is expensive. But if you start putting a little bit out of each check toward it, it won't feel as heavy. Yeah, and
start early.
if you know you want to go, I would say start game planning for it.
Great. Thank you, ladies. And we'll zip through the rest of our announcements quickly. Gina, graciously, we're gonna save PC for next week, since we're close to time. Rick, since we've lost our slide, did you have anything to add for broker minute? I know you just had a long class yesterday.
Thank you, Ron.
Perfect.
So.
Wonderful.
That's not it. People were here. But, so yesterday I had a class, about the
There it is.
NAR settlement.
Okay,
I think most of you guys were either here in person or on Zoom, so you guys probably heard it. NAR settled that class action lawsuit, Some big changes will be coming. The big ones that we need to know about is effective, assuming it's court approved, which I think they're all expecting it to be. Effective mid-July, no more buyer agent compensation in the MLS. Doesn't prohibit us from paying a buyer's agent, just prohibits us from putting it in the MLS. You can still put it on your own website, you can still put it in text messages and emails. We will be allowed to offer a buyer compensation in the MLS, so you know, presumably the buyer agent compensation is 3%, they can give a 3% concession. They can advertise the concession. Also, mid-July, buyer agency agreements will be mandatory. I told everybody in the class yesterday, I suspect we'll probably make it mandatory in our office before mid-July. But as of March 20th, it's not mandatory, but I recommend that everybody start getting used to presenting it. I've started it. I was always afraid to present them. I didn't think anybody would sign it, and I've been using it for a little bit now, and it's a lot easier than I ever thought it was going to be to get them signed. So I would suggest starting to use those now. That's it.
Awesome. And there's going to be another slide on here, but tomorrow Rick will also be on this Zoom manning the chat. Jose and Rich are doing a presentation via Zoom tomorrow at 9:30. I would encourage everyone in this room to be on it.
Tomorrow, Zoom, and also Value Squared, which is put on by KWRI. There's 3 more sessions to it.
Thank you.
I haven't been to one yet. I'm registered for March 26th. My understanding is they're all 3 the same. You don't have to go to each class, but that was in my broker update email that I sent out the other day. The link to it, so try to register for one of those remaining 3 sessions. And it's going to be taught by Gary Keller, Jay Papasan, and Jason Abrams.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. Those are super, super valuable. Just so you know, mark your calendar. We'll send lots of emails, but the team meeting next week, because of Bold, actually, we bumped it a day ahead of what it's supposed to be. So it'll be Tuesday, the 16th. And then at that meeting, we are going to be doing a dessert auction, and the proceeds will be funding.
We'll be funding KWR Red Day in May, and y'all are gonna need this now that we're all gonna sell 5,000 homes in the next 4 months. We are gonna need this sweet dessert auction. It's gonna be very comparable to the one we did in the fall, only much huger. And we're doing this really and truly. We're very excited about this because it's gonna help us. And there is a slide at the end, but Denise is not here, but we can just go over it real quick. I know we're short on time, and I can do this quick because I talk fast. But Red Day, we are doing 20 beds this year, not just 10.
Yeah,
We are
we'll
very
skip it
excited
once.
about that. And
Oh, sorry.
if you are interested in this, which you know you're gonna want to be on spring dessert auction, Bob Paul has already prohibited the $150 cake again. And I've picked all my kids, the bake shop went out of business when they wanted it for their birthday. But I do want you to know that this is a great support, especially if you can't be here for Red Day for some reason. Because this helps go toward our Red Day, function that we're gonna have 20 beds. And if you want, and you already did it last year, or you're on a team this year, it's such a great, awesome thing for a team. You can buy your own bed. So for $100, you can buy a bed to make with your team, or if you have a lot of people on your team, you can do a 25 and a 25 and a 25, or maybe your rainmaker would just prefer to buy 5 beds on their own. But if you want to do this, we want to blow this out the door. We made so much money last year, and it went toward, of course, our Soul Cares. And last for this minute, because somebody makes me do this, although this was my idea, having a clip basket, and Keisha and I put it all together, and there's some really great things in here, and you get this, look at, isn't this like the cutest shirt?
It is a very cute shirt.
Very cute.
And there's also your little glasses, so if you didn't get them yet or didn't know where to go, we have them right here. And there's a little blankie if you want to have a picnic basket, and there's popcorn, and cookies, and a $25 Amazon gift card. Someone like me, who if I got on the blankie, on the ground, would not get back. So I would be taking this whole thing and giving it to a client.
Yes.
So think about that. I might keep the Amazon part. But
You're closing, guys.
I think this is for a client.
Mhm.
If you want, if you have someone special. So
I
don't forget,
love
for
that.
me, that's very important. Spring dessert auction, that's I love Red Day. But we'll cover a little bit more Red Day in April, because it is just right around the corner.
It sure is.
These are 6 tickets for $5 or $1 a piece. And we will be able to have this drawing probably shortly,
Yes.
before you leave, because your ticket doesn't have a name on it. So if you're gonna come and get a ticket, come and get a ticket. quick.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Let me skip right there.
Oops,
Going the wrong way.
that slide that was messed by me. Okay, and then real quick, so Keisha, I don't know if you have it pulled up, but something, Janice wasn't able to be here today. Her and Crystal are the heads of the diversity committee. They actually had the most beautiful idea. And they said, you know, we talk about Martin Luther King and we have months for different people, which is phenomenal. But we also want to bring awareness around the heroes that are right inside this market center. So just so you guys know, this is something that will probably even go out to the market center. If you know an inspirational story of whether it's one of our own, an agent in here, or outside of the business, your client, etc., please feel free to nominate them. You can let Crystal or Janice know.
So this time for our nomination, I think this is our first one for diversity, correct? Okay,
Mhm.
so we have selected David Toth for Heroes Among Us. And we have a little bit of a background story here submitted on behalf of David from his wife, Donna, spoken from David's perspective. This story began last year when I was having trouble talking on the phone and with clients. My voice was getting progressively hoarser and I chalked it off to allergies. So I took more antihistamines that just made my throat more dry. So before my wife fired me because I could not communicate and work with our clients, I made an appointment with an ENT doctor. After waiting a few weeks to get an appointment, I finally went in to see the doctor who promptly put a scope up my nose to view my vocal cords. Lo and behold, there was a cyst on my left vocal cord. So I was sent to the surgeon to schedule the removal of this and biopsy for it, which does give one cause for concern. The surgery was scheduled for late January. And I'm sorry, my mother was trying to call me while I'm trying to read this. Mom's always gonna call. The surgery was scheduled for late January. And the preoperative testing just happened to be on my birthday, talking about David's birthday, January the 5th. The 5th. Aww. By this time, Donna and I noticed that my voice was not as bad as it had been. So when I talked to the PA, physician assistant, she thought that was odd. So we decided to scope my vocal cord one more time before surgery, just in case. Well, our jaws dropped as we looked at the scan and the cyst had disappeared. It was just gone. Why? For those who know me, I'm religious, and Donna and I pray that the Lord would take this infirmity from me, be it the Lord's will. Well, we believe that the Lord healed me for this reason. The reason is to let you know that miracles do happen, and you do need to stop, breathe, and look for them, and have complete faith in the Lord. So submitted on behalf of David Toth, AKA Papa Bear.
Oh, yes, I love that story. Thank you so much, Keisha. So if you guys have any beautiful stories like that, please share with Crystal or Janice, and we would love to honor you guys. And then just real quick, we already talked about Red Day. Why is this going backwards again? I'm not a good clicker.
Turned it into a video.
Oh, okay. You know how that, okay, so basically we have our power-ups. This is the class I want you to know about.
Oh,
Nope,
sorry,
back to
either way.
that.
There we go.
This is the big one. It is tomorrow at 9:30. Please be on. And Hosea is such a great way, and Rich is so knowledgeable about delivering, like, we don't have to worry, and you will find out why we don't have to worry and what our plan is and what you need to know. And then we also have our social trends class. So build your influence as a real estate agent, social trends that you are going to be seeing in 2024 with our own Miss Diana Magno and Journey Tool. And then internet lead conversion is the 4th at 2. Industry update in April. This is the one I wanted to get to. Meet the megas, dominate your market. This is going to be an amazing class. We have Amanda Pullman and Daniela Margos, who were top 10 in Cuyahoga County. And then the Westlows are #1 in Brecksville and Independence. That was for 2023. So we're going to be doing a panel with them. I believe there's only 50 seats, so you will want to grab your ticket. It's Thursday, April 25th. And then to close us out, I'll skip power ups just to wanted to thank, as you could see, we have lunch here. So Bo, if you wanted to come up quickly, let them know. Bo's going to be doing a class after the meeting today. If you want to give a snippet of it, and thank you for being here and providing lunch.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for having me as well. Pretty much I'm Bo Reuter, Bonafide Home Inspections. And some of you know me from another company, but I'm actually in the process of rebranding. So again, I thank you for everyone having me here. I wanted to go over, I didn't want to take up a ton of time, but I just want to kind of go over a few things that I'm seeing that's new in the home inspection industry, and just kind of wanted to pass some of that information on with you. And so we'll go over some of the things like insurance, things that I'm seeing that I'm getting calls back from clients and agents asking questions about the home inspection that relate to insurance policies. I was able to interview a agent from State Farm who's super knowledgeable, interviewed him on how I can be a better home inspector and provide all the information that, clients and everything are going to need. Also too, I was going to go over just a few things like point of sale inspections, a little bit of stuff with FHA inspections as well. So I encourage everyone to stick around and let's all learn some stuff. Yes.
Awesome.
I would also like to say something about Bo really quick. If you want to value add, and you have clients that either can't make an inspection because they're out of town, or they live out of state and they're never stepping foot in Ohio, Bo literally lets me record him walking through the house to then send that to my clients. Talk about concierge mode, talk about class.
Yeah.
It's a really great thing, and a lot of inspectors will be like, oh, we have video. Bo's great at it.
Thanks, Tara. Yeah, we've done a few together, so yeah, we can talk about all that stuff as well.
Yes, so please stick around for the class. And are you guys drawing a name?
Yeah, we're gonna try name, and also, Bo, you mind me shouting out, Bo, I think they used to be an agent, so.
Yes, I was.
Stan!
Yeah.
You, I wanted to.
That was gonna come up too. I was an agent for a 1.5 years with Keller Williams Citywide. And unfortunately I went through COVID with 2 newborns and that didn't work as an agent. So, but it was a blessing because I was able to find home inspection at the same process and be able to bring both careers together. So
Wonderful. Thank you, Bo. Go ahead and grab lunch and we'll draw a name, a number. You lucky winner. Lucky number is 1044 347.